11/6/2016. Internet diary continues. Intuition is telling me to go to Krati to look for a job. And what I have now in my mind, I have idea how building looks like. And I see on the interview male with a more pale skin and a female with something like hair like that, shorter, darker on the left hand side. And it's gonna work. I made a new CV and I made my own. Well, what's the point of higher IQ if not use it for the benefit, right, of the others? So I developed dynamic learning experience concept, which is based on DLC is based on the idea that learning can be both interesting and rewarding experience. DLC was born out of practice, and it was never-ending questions like how to make class interesting both for me and students, and how to make them memorize vocabulary, and how to explain them grammar. One of the big obstacles in the most of the students is that most of the students simply do not study at home. They don't. They spend in school normally between 8 and 5 p.m. and then in my case they have evening school, English school between 5 and 8. So simply kids don't have time to study. It's just too much of the bullshit they have to go through. Simply do not study at home, and that part now needs to be done in school. Yeah. Not having adequate grammar books was another issue, and general attitude of some students was always an issue. Yeah, of course. Bullies all over the place, and not having grammar books or not remembering what is done. Absolutely. Most of them. To answer that, I came up with this set of concepts. Yes, to answer that, I started to print my own grammar books for them for free. Not cheap concept, but at least they have grammar. Class participation, class preparation. In my office, I would normally go through books, facts and figures, and then single out new words and terms like Maori, New Zealand, Avalanche, Norway. Then I would find videos on the YouTube, State Education, for example, Google Pictures, Maps, and anticipate what they might find interesting. I would normally also prepare both two lessons, because I had a colleague and he might cover one of the lessons I already prepared for. So this was like a little bit of mess in planning, not done by the management, not us. It's okay, no problem. Surfing net is interesting, but it takes time. Standard lecture, number two, in this part I go by the book, read together, repeat new vocabulary, they get homework. However, pictures are black and white. Yeah, you know, those books have cheap black and white copies, $5 ones. Boring. So after we finish this lesson, as it should be done, reading together a number of times, going through vocab, giving them homework, and so on. Internet expansion, number 3. What of internet? In this part, I use magic of technology to make things interesting, moving, alive, colorful, and interesting. So, yeah, really, when you compare the black and white book and then big screen, it's really like, it's really black and white, and then you suddenly have a Maori dancing haka haka through the loudspeakers. I mean, what's the difference? What can you even imagine, like, wow effect by the kids when they see that? And then on the other side, comparing that with a black and white picture like this, photocopy of the photocopy. Well, some people simply don't get the difference. They just don't either. Well, I guess it's the beauty of being average. You simply do not give a shit, and I simply give a shit. So that's why I felt that I really need to make them feel the power of image. You understand me? When you have a set of images, big screen images, and then this one means that, and this is the spelling, and then next time you repeat, and next time you repeat. In some schools it's so difficult to explain why internet and a big screen is such an important thing, and it's not expensive at all. But yeah, they're fascinated. I remember, like, when I saw them, when I I had this avalanche from Norway, and I was repeating this one again and again and again. It was really impressive avalanche, really following the whole house, whole bay, and they never seen snow. They never seen snow alive, and when they saw that, it was like jaw dropping. Yeah, that's Norway. I've been there, and then immediately, with this kind of approach, you get attention, you get their interest. They start to realize that there are things they don't know because they're kids. They're from Ratanakiri. They're not really thinking about, oh, maybe there are some things I don't know about the world. So now we're showing them there is a world out there. This is the magic window to the world. It's called the internet, and voila, you can learn a lot by using internet. Not alone, making things interesting. Feedback. Most of my students like this approach. As a teacher, you know how bell curve goes. There are 10% good students, 10% bad students, and 80% of the majority. That's how it goes. 10% talented, majority, and then you have shit at the end. Good students like it. They are self-motivated and perfect helpers. Yes, they are, and it's so good to have them. Many good students and many good questions and suggestions come from this group. Majority like it too, and they tend to comment me in a positive manner, like chair funny, like teacher funny. Okay, that's positive. And choose to be helpful and get on board with me. Last 10% of best students, in some cases bullies, well, they tend not to like me simply because they are what they are, human shit. Problems occur when that group joins forces with mediocre teachers. They tend to be both majority and good in mobbing. I still did not master that set of talents. I don't have this set of talents, and I'm gonna be. Yeah, I was talking about it. In short, aggressive and territorial people tend not to like me. Metrics and dogs, that's how it is. Because they consider me to be threat to their positions. Well, in effect, there is a bit more. They're simply soulless, and soulless people don't like when they feel soul power around. They immediately go aggressive. That's the nature. But they go through the lies and disinfo to points. Yeah, threat to their positions when they see, guys, during the last interview, I went to the Asian Bridge School. To the guy is a manager of administration. We've been talking, and I opened to him the map of Europe and asked him to find England on the map of Europe, suggesting that it's an island and it says London with the big letters around there, and it should be easy to find. He couldn't find it. So this is the level I'm competing with. I'm not really competing with them in knowledge, in being interested. It's not competable. How can a Croatian football national team compete against the high school football team, tribal school? Yeah, they can compete, but it's not competition. But what tribal school team can do, when Croatian team wins and finishes, they can start bullshitting about them endlessly behind the back. And this is the thing I have to say, a little thing about how human mind works. I can do everything good. I can make them interesting. I can make subject interesting for kids. I can expand their knowledge. I can get feedback, very good feedback from most of them, most of the time. That's how it goes, and everything. But because I'm not like others, I don't like to be with others because they drain my energy down, and I'm bored to listen. How much is a shoe? How much is a t-shirt? And me likey, me no likey, bored. Okay? That's the curse of the higher IQ. You're simply bored with people who are average. Simple as that. And then what happens? I'm not with them. So when I'm not with them, I'm not looking at their asses, and I'm not backstabbing with them, other people who are not present. So when both is there and when other people are there, those negative elements can, on a long run, program people. It's a bullshit. By simply mentioning either life or very simple, in their case, in Thai case, I remember that simply no good. And people hear it's no good, they don't even ask. They hear it's no good, and that's it. And, I don't know how to balance that with my boss. I should be like meeting my boss once a week and like um, just repeating good things I've done that week so I can minimize the bullshit. I absolutely have no answer for that. Really, guys, you know my theory of matrix. When I find answer for exactly this, what I'm talking now in this like letter when I'm explaining my potential employer, yes, I'm better than others, and you know it. And but you know that's also my problem. Repetition. Number 5. My personal motto is repetitio est mater studiorum, which means repetition is mother of studying. So I put emphasis on vocabulary, pronunciation, talking. I won't hear them speaking English to me, and I motivate them to do so. Grammar follows vocab. Once they lose fear of self-expression, experimenting, they are on board with me. Next step follows naturally, which is the grammar. When it comes to grammar, repetition is best approach. We have no other option. I tend to print them something as a small grammar book, 20 pages or so, with exactly grammar what we do. Like present simple, past simple, then irregular verbs. By giving kids free materials, I make them feel guilty or obligated if they don't study on one hand, but on the other, they have all materials they need to understand the matter. It's a plus. Equipment requirements: 1 flat screen TV, 1 laptop, internet connection. Obstacles. Number 1, aggressive territorial mindset. Who are you to tell me how to run my business? When you hear that, that's a killer. Followed by racism. Pakao. Get lost, whitey. 2, bullies and aggressive teachers. Territorial, career, fear-based mentality. Good in backstabbing and ass-kissing. Sorry, but I had to say it. Whoa, this is not nice to put it in a letter, but hey, you know, it's under 8. Obstacles. Number 2, it's logical and it's fact. Number 3, lack of finances. Many schools simply cannot invest in basic internet infrastructure. That's right. You know, they can, but you know what? School owner always thinks, you know, is this necessary? And it is, but not for mediocre schools, and especially for schools which are only there to do your money laundering from crystal meth. Same as most of the hotels of 4 and 5 stars, which are offering only $20 rooms. Again, a reality of life here. 4, general lack of education and intellectual dimension, followed by attitude that school walls and some people there moving in shirts and ties are enough, and they are, but not in the best schools. And that's exactly that. Let's make a building, let's put a flashy sign, let's hire some people if we can, and then that's about it. What about books? Are we gonna make photocopies? If we hire 1 or 2 Farang, that's going to attract people. And if Farang wants something like the internet, that, here, me, you know, go, I know it all. That's the attitude. And that, my friend, sucks. Because you're either going to be in the 21st century, you're going to stuck in the 1980s. And your schools are in the 1980s. In some cases, you know, technologically behind 80s, which is ancient, which is when I was like a kid. Conclusion. We live now in year 2016. And we cannot go back via time machine back in the 1980s while I was a kid. Right. So why so many schools live in 20th century? They completely ignore internet, which is digitalized collective memory of the humanity, which is not my thought. Some people think that they are smart and that there is nothing in the world to learn. I do not agree with that. The greatest learning tool has been delivered to us. Using it means only success. But how to use it? Well, I believe I put answers there. If you think we might click on the code, please give me a call. Same as you. Look for a right teacher, I look for the right school. Give me 20 minutes in your classroom and I will show you what I can. This goes, please, nah, this is not my style. Sorry, not Anglo-Saxon. Kind regards, Krzysztof Garaga. And that's me. That's my way of thinking. Maybe in some other updates I could actually go through my real CV. That would be interesting. Okay. Oh, I'm not really sure. Should I upload this? This is like, but maybe not. Why not? Why not? And I put this picture there. This is my favorite picture because these are my favorite students. This is from that little class. Yeah. Really good class, good students. I really love them. We've been playing zombie, teacher, zombie. And I was like, we finished like absolutely everything 2 months before test. I was, of course, repeating with them every time. And we had like 3 times per week, 3 hours per day. So we were like repeating, woke up 20 minutes, really, no more than again and again and again. And then after that, let's go by the computer. Let's go. And then I show them Lord of the Rings. And then you have a cavalry. Then you have armor. Then you have a sword. Then you have teacher. What is that? And 7-year-olds, they learn battles. They learn castles. They learn wall. They learn shield. They learn sword. They learn helmet for a scooter, riding a bike, riding a scooter, riding a horse. Voila, maybe it's not really in the interest of the school because if you give them so much knowledge, they might finish school earlier. But it's my style, It's boring not to teach them anything, and they are intelligent. Kids are intelligent. Let's give them a chance. So many times they pull learning. They wanna know something. Well, how can I be heartless and not to give them that? You understand me? And our schools are black and white photocopied books are exactly this grace of knowledge. You cannot go out of the program. Why? We finish program 2 months before. We have like 3 hours per week. Let's learn. Let's play. Let's have fun. Am I right, baby? Huh? Yeah? Okay. Do you agree? She does. She's ignoring me. Hey, your tits are falling. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that was it.